Last night, you were perfecting your thumbnail for 3 hours. You felt that this thumbnail will finally go viral, but then you wake up with 0 views again.
I will show you the method the best YouTubers use to get viral thumbnails every time, and an app that made my CTR go from 1 to 5% in just a few days.
Most people make thumbnails like this. They know that they are important, so they spend 2 or 3 hours on designing them, but they only make one version, and also in the same style like they always do. And when their video flops, they usually think it's just the particular thumbnail and continue with the same style, so they make the big mistake of not having any clue what really works. And with this approach, they will never make a good thumbnail that gets views, so their channel will never grow. It's true that thumbnails are a very common thing that's stopping people from growing on YouTube, so your channel is really likely to blow up if you fix your thumbnails. The method the best YouTubers do to get viral thumbnails every time is actually the opposite to the approach I described. They sometimes make even 4 completely different versions of the thumbnail, with every version usually having 3 variations. This way, they literally have more chances to create a viral thumbnail because they simply made more thumbnails. And then they test these different thumbnail versions through A/B testing, which uses a system that will automatically switch thumbnails on YouTube and compare them. This allows them to see which thumbnail is the best instead of blindly guessing. But after they know which one is the best, they test the similar variations of the thumbnail so they can tweak the details to get the best CTR possible. So not only do they know which is the best thumbnail, but they also constantly improve because they see what works. They know if some things perform better than others, so they're constantly getting feedback. But also, they're always experimenting and trying new things, so it's adding the amount of feedback they're getting. And this is especially important for small channels, because when a thumbnail doesn't perform well, it's obviously not good enough. So you need to keep trying new things to see what works. Don't just change the text. Go on YouTube, get inspiration, and try a completely different thumbnail style. Because like Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And if you really take inspiration and experiment for long enough, you literally can't lose, because one day you'll make the viral thumbnail that's gonna blow up your channel. But of course, thumbnails aren't the only thing in packaging. The best YouTubers test thumbnails and titles at the same time, because titles are as important as thumbnails. Because usually, thumbnail teases the video, the title briefly explains it and confirms the click, so a title might work differently with different thumbnails. This means that testing thumbnails and titles together is really important. You might have heard about YouTube's free A/B testing feature. Let me quickly show you how it works. You select the thumbnails you want, and YouTube will run the test for 14 days, but you can stop it whenever you want. It usually takes a few days to get results depending on how many impressions your video gets and how similar your thumbnails are, but it can also take the full 14 days. YouTube will show you a metric called watch time share, which is just how much did the thumbnail contribute to the overall watch time of the video during the test. So when a viewer clicks a thumbnail and watches 2 minutes of the video, and then someone clicks on a second thumbnail and watches 4 minutes, the second thumbnail contributed 66% to the watch time. So YouTube compares the winning thumbnail based on if it made the most people click and watch the longest, because it's true that a successful thumbnail will not only make the viewer click, but also watch the video as long as possible. Unfortunately, YouTube only shows watch time share, so you can't see the individual CTR of the thumbnails, which is nice for comparison. And also, YouTube's A/B testing only allows you to test thumbnails without titles. Let me show you an app that I used for A/B testing, which boosted my CTR from 1 to 5%, but this app has even more features. It's called Test My Thumbnails, and the best thing about its A/B testing feature is that you can choose if you want to test thumbnails or titles only, or both at the same time. You can also choose the duration of the test and how frequently you want to swap the thumbnails or titles. I usually select hourly swaps to be the most accurate and the shortest time. But what's also really important, like CTR, AVD or average view duration, and also CTR times AVD, so you can compare thumbnails based on clicks and watch time at the same time. And here are some other features. When people design their thumbnails, they see it zoomed in their graphic software, but this is not how viewers will see your thumbnails on YouTube. So it's important that the text on your thumbnail is readable, even if your thumbnail is in a small sidebar. That's why you need to preview how your thumbnails look on YouTube. In Test My Thumbnails Previewer, you upload your thumbnail and title, and you can see it on the YouTube homepage. You can also select different devices, toggle light mode, and shuffle the thumbnails. But the most important thing is that you can search like normally on YouTube, so that you can customize which thumbnails you're gonna see on the homepage. And this is crucial because if you search for your competitors, now you know how your thumbnails looks next to your competitors' thumbnails. Obviously, you want to stand out with your thumbnail, because then it will get all the attention because it's different. And if you don't stand out, you will blend in with everyone else and nobody will click your video, because why would they watch your video when they can watch a video from the best YouTubers in your niche? And by the way, you can get Test My Thumbnails with with a 10% discount with this code for less than $15. Link is in the description. And if you want, you can try all the features for free right now. Test My Thumbnails also has a thumbnail library of the 100,000 best thumbnails on YouTube, which is great for inspiration. You can search the library with text or your thumbnail to see something similar, so you can decide which topics will do well based on the supply and demand. Test My Thumbnails then has a bunch of AI tools like Thumbnail Rater and Thumbnail and Title Generator. They can give you inspiration if you play around with them, but obviously don't take it seriously since it's AI. But thumbnails aren't everything, because without a good idea, you will never make the viewer curious enough to click. Here's my video to get strong ideas.